Is your personal firewall leaking? I'm Steve Gibson with Gibson Research Corporation. Today we're going to talk about how concerned you should be on The Lab with Leo.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you, and welcome to The Lab. Leo Laporte here. This is the show where we help you understand technology. From cell phones to camcorders to home theater to firewalls to computers to the internet, the whole kit and caboodle. Digital photography. Oh. You seem surprised. Hello, Kate Abraham.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
Bright yellow. I like that.
Like a great big sunflower.
It is. It's very sunny and bright. And here I am wearing gloomy, whatever color that is. It's like brown or something. I don't know. This is episode 104.
Crazy.
Steve Gibson, our great friend and security experts here, is going to talk about, you know that your firewall is what protects your computer from the outside world. And they have something called leaks, where I know that sounds strange, but where something that's on your system can get out, right? And Steve actually kind of pioneered this whole concept of leak testing. Well, he's going to tell us why it doesn't work. So that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. He said, you know, it worked when I did it, but not anymore. Forget it. It's over. Jim Everett is here from Down Under.
The lovely Jim Everett.
You like him?
We actually understand each other.
Because he's from Australia,
yeah.
and you're from England, so you're Commonwealth.
Exactly. Same
Okay.
vocabulary. Like, we understand each other. It's great. I haven't to repeat myself at all with Jim. It's so easy.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay. So he's going to talk about high-def slideshows for your big high-def screen. That should be fun. And Mr. Excel's back. Excel 2007, our topic today. So a great show, but you know what I like best? The thing I like to focus on are great callers, or people like you who call us and ask a question. But we've got one right now, right?
We have indeed. We have Paul, and he's from Oakville in Ontario.
Thank you, Kate. Hello, Paul!
Hello, Leo. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
What can I do for you?
Well, Leo, I'm trying to build a website, and I have no ideas how to do it.
Any experience in this field at all?
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
The beginner of beginners.
Have you set yourself up with a web host yet?
I have a domain name registered.
Okay.
And I can get a host, somebody to host it.
You understand that you could, but most people don't host a website on their own computer. You use a company that basically it's the same kind of computer, but they have it in a big data center, and it's backed up, generators, they've got air conditioning, and most importantly, they've got a lot of bandwidth. That's really what you want, because if you're serving it from your own system, that's fine if 100 people visit, but what if 1,000 or 10,000 or 1,000,000 people visit? You don't have the bandwidth to support that. Plus, they're pros, you know, they know how to run the hardware and the software and everything. Oh, there he is. He snuck up behind me. So I strongly recommend you get a web host. And it sounds like you understand that much.
Yeah.
This is the question I have to ask everybody. Are you just interested in getting a website up? Or would you like to learn about how to do this? Is this a skill you'd like to have or something you'd like to do as a hobby?
I'd be interested in it as a hobby, yeah.
Okay. Because what that tells me is how far you want to go and how deep you want to go in this. If you just want to get a site up. Most web hosts will offer something called Site Builder or something similar, which is a very simple point-and-click website designer. You should ask your web host if they support it. Almost all of them do. The problem with Site Builder is that it is very limited. I mean, they have a few hundred templates. You'll look like, everybody else. You're also kind of limited. You can only do what Site Builder can do. You can't go beyond that. It can do a lot of things. The advantage is it's very easy. Yahoo offers it, for instance, for their small business section. And it does, these are the templates look very professional. And if you want to do something that fits their templates, it couldn't be easier to do this. It's just kind of a dead end. Once you go down the Site Builder road, you're a Site Builder guy forever. It's kind of hard to move off to anything more powerful. If you would like to learn a little more about web design, there are other ways to go. What's the site for is another question I should ask.
It's basically, I belong to a group of a bunch of guys, Masons, and we do charity work for
that's
kids
great.
with diabetes. So it's just basically a way for us to keep in touch see who's raised what kind of funds, post some dates that we're all going to get together.
Would you have multiple people posting to this, or would it just be you?
Just be me.
And you never think you're going to grow to more authors?
It's a possibility, yeah, but I would probably have them send the content to me and then put it on myself.
What I often recommend people do, and this seems like it would work for you, is use a hosted content management system like WordPress. WordPress.com, this is absolutely free. TypePad also does this at typepad.com. What they do is they allow you to set up sites that are, now don't get concerned, it says blog. All a blog is something that is regularly updated with content, and the content can be pictures, video, text, whatever. I mean, it doesn't have to be a blog in that sense, and you'll see there's quite a few businesses, sites of all kinds, charitable sites that use these kinds of engines. So WordPress.com is free. Amber uses TypePad, and I think TypePad is really good. They have a free version, and then you can get more elaborate for paid up to, I think it's $150 a year for a really elaborate one. But here's, for instance, animalrescue.com. So this is kind of a charitable site that's very similar to what you're talking about. And, there's commenting, there's interactivity, there's calendars, there's a lot of additional features. I think TypePad is probably a very good choice for you. The other thing about TypePad, if you use the paid TypePad service, is you can... what was I going to say? Oh, I know what I was going to say. You can have your domain that you've already purchased forwarded to it, right?
Yes, that would be perfect, yeah.
Yeah, so, you'd have, our Mason, the Masons of Oakville.com or whatever it is. Here's the Animal Rescue. Now, again, they call it a blog, but this is very similar. Look, they have a calendar here. They have actually video embedded on the page, photos, a slideshow. The nice thing about this is you don't become a webmaster. You don't really have to worry so much about design. You pick a template and you'll stick with it. You can modify it if you feel like it. You're not stuck with it. You really can focus, though, on the content. And I think that I sense that that's what you'd like to do.
Yeah, putting pictures and stuff like that up there too.
Yeah, you want to spend your time putting up content, not tweaking the CSS.
Yes.
I think this is my recommendation. They're very powerful. Look at some of the sites they're featuring on here to get an idea of what they can do. Typepad.com. WordPress.com is absolutely free, and I think a good choice. But TypePad, you can get a little bit more elaborate. You probably want to do the plus level, which is $8.95 a month or $90 a year. Maybe even the basic level, which is even cheaper. One author, one blog, that's probably all you need. Then that's $50 a year. And they do all the hosting. So this is in lieu of hiring a web host. So it's less than you probably would pay for your web hosting.
Yeah.
And you get the additional feature of having all this support behind you doing it. I think this is a great way. You can start for free so you can see if it'll do what you want it to do. Typepad, typepad.com. Okay, Paul?
Great. Thank you very much, sir.
Hey, I'm glad you called. Good luck with your site. I think this is a great thing to do. And, I know you feel like, well, I'm not the most techie perhaps in the world, but you're more techie than all the other Masons. You probably get nominated to do this job. That's what happens, isn't it? And that's how you become the expert.
That is.
Look at all these trophies. What are all those trophies for?
Oh, just golf and soccer.
You're good. That's great. Thanks for calling. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye. Coming up in just a bit, our good friend Steve Gibson. We're going to talk about leak testing. No, you don't need Depends. We're talking about firewalls when the lab continues. Welcome back to the lab. Leo Laporte here with Steve Gibson from grc.com. He does, of course, SpinRite, which is the greatest disk maintenance and recovery utility of all time. And it's funny, I've known Steve for a long time. Our first experience was with a little free program you did called The Click of Death that saved zip drives.
Trouble in Paradise.
Trouble in Paradise.
Right.
But then, shortly thereafter, you introduced us to a new idea, a software firewall with Zone Alarm at the time.
And I did Shields Up in order to begin
testing them.
Testing, exactly.
Right. In fact, after Shields Up, you did something called Leak Test, which was a program. In fact, I think it's still one of your most popular programs.
6,700,000 downloads of Leak Test.
That would test a firewall, but it would test in a different way than Zone Alarm. I mean, than Shields Up did.
Traditional firewalls protect you from any external traffic coming into your computer.
So you got your computer, you got your firewall, you got the internet out here.
Whole mess out there. All the hackers and everybody.
So you got your computer, you got the firewall, you got this whole mess out here, and the firewall's bouncing stuff off as it comes in, right?
Exactly. It is preventing any external bad traffic from having a chance to get into your computer.
Okay.
Now, the innovation, which really Zone Alarm pioneered and then all the other personal firewalls jumped onto, is what if something bad got in your computer, you want to block it from being able to talk to the mothership, from like phoning home, essentially.
So again, we have our computer, we have our firewall with the outside world. We were blocking this way, but now we're blocking this way too.
Right, and that's why I called it leaking, because you want to not allow this protection in your computer to allow leakage from your computer to the outside world.
And what would it be leaking? Your personal information,
credit card, purchasing details. I mean,
we don't want that.
Your passwords, the stuff you want to really keep yourself. Well, so what has happened is, after my very first leak test, which was a simple test, it was just designed to see whether programs could change their name, for example, to Internet Explorer, and then fool the firewall, thinking that, well, Internet Explorer is my web browser. Right. It has to be able to communicate out to the internet. Right. That a whole mass of leak tests, scores of them, literally, other leak testing programs have been created that use other ways of sneaking information out through firewalls. And it turns out that most of them are able to succeed in many cases.
Wait a minute, succeed what?
They're able to succeed in sneaking out.
You mean despite all this leak testing that we're doing,
yes,
the bad guys still can get by the firewall?
Today, most personal firewalls have known holes, known leaks. And in fact,
I know you can't read this, but this is the test that somebody put together.
Yes, here's all these firewalls and all these leak tests.
So there's 7 or 8 different leak testing programs, and there's dozens of different,
maybe 16 or 17 of them.
It goes on beyond that. And these are all the firewalls, and there's holes in every one of them somewhere.
Essentially, yes. Now,
what's interesting is all of them pass your leak test, but that's because it's the oldest. And what do they just rewrite the firewall to work?
And it's really a simple test too.
Oh, okay.
There are, and that's the problem, is you could argue that anytime your software in a PC and that software is fighting against a software firewall,
right,
there's a way to fool it. I mean, some Trojans turn off the firewall.
Right.
They're able to disable it, and then it's like, whoops, out you go, as if there's no problem.
So you're saying people shouldn't download your leak test anymore?
Well, people like to, because it does give them some sense that they do have a firewall. They're able to
a firewall's there.
Yes, exactly. Because any firewall will block mine.
Except for Windows, I see.
Except for Windows doesn't. Windows doesn't block anything.
It's inbound only.
It's inbound only.
Right.
So we have the URL for people who want to look at this chart in detail and look up their own firewall and see how well it performs. Because you can compare it to other firewalls.
But it doesn't matter.
You have to say, if something bad gets into your computer, you're in trouble. What you want to do is you want to prevent anything bad from getting in the first place. And these firewalls are good for letting you know if something bad got in. It'll raise an alarm and say, we're not sure what this is that's trying to phone home.
Right.
Maybe you should, track it down.
Is the fundamental problem that if software is running on the same computer that the bad guys are running on, the bad guys have access to that software?
Yes. Windows gives too much power to programs that are running in it.
It's as if, the guard is standing right there and they can work on it and try to disable it.
Or just knock the guard on the head.
Knock
them out. And then off they go.
So when you said this many times, when you recommend a router, an external hardware firewall as opposed to a software firewall,
you can't get to it.
That's why.
Yes, because there's no, the traffic leaves the computer, and then there's no way for the software, as long as you have universal plug and play turned off and you change the default password on your router. There is software now that knows how to log into people's routers users.
Because they're standard passwords.
Because they didn't change their username and password.
So we might as well say this. If you got a new, first of all, your recommendation is yes or no, software firewall?
Yes.
If it makes you feel better.
If it makes you feel better, you know, you and I don't run AV. We don't run
or
antivirus
or
a software firewall because we're very, very careful. But most people say, wait a minute, I want more protection. I want as much as I can get.
I noticed one that does very well here is Komodo. Do you like Komodo?
Komodo is a great firewall.
And it's free.
Yes. And LavaSoft also is doing that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Komodo's free, so is LavaSoft. So that's nice. You know, don't spend money. I guess don't spend money on a software firewall at this point, since it's of dubious value.
Right.
If you really feel like you have to have one.
And there are big firewalls like the Semantic firewall that is heavy, it loads your machine down.
There's a negative to it.
And it doesn't do that good a job.
Okay. So get a router, basically. Change your behavior, and this is what I hammer people on. It's really about behavior. Security experts don't use security software in general because they know what not to do.
Right, which is pretty much everything.
And it's not that complicated. You don't open attachments. You don't click links in email.
Yep.
You know, you make sure you keep your system up to date.
Yep.
You run a hardware firewall.
Yep.
I mean, it's not that complicated.
And be aware if something changes in your computer. You want an awareness. If if your car starts pulling to the left, that means there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
So pay attention the same way on your own PC.
Yeah. And don't download music from music sharing sites, because that's how the teenagers get
almost invariably
in trouble. Both Steve and I have fixed computers where teenagers have been using them, and that's the first thing you look for. LimeWire, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You've got Grokster. Oh well. Steve Gibson's great. Go to grc.com. You can download Leak Test if it makes you feel better.
It'll let you know your firewall's there.
And we'll put a link to this chart. I know you can't read it, but if you want to see the details,
it's online, and everyone can look up their own firewall and see how it compares.
Go to labwithleo.com for the link to that. And, of course, grc.com to get your copy of Spin Right. It's awesome. Now, let's get a close-up of something you'd find around the lab. Zooming in here. Can you tell me what that is? Sean, you've been liking circles lately. This is your new thing. It's things with circles. I have no. What do you think? Let's zoom out and find out when the lab continues right after these important messages. Stay right here. Welcome back to the lab. Before the break, we showed you this and said, what the heck is it? I know what it is. It's an earphone, isn't it? No. It's the Pearl on the BlackBerry Pearl. I would never have guessed that. Sean Carruthers does it again with his super duper macro lens. I don't know how he does it. Let's get another caller on the air here. Kate, she's on the phone right now.
I'm just phoning him for
you. Are you ready?
Nearly.
He's there. Is he going to see that? There, he picked up the phone. I see it. This is great. We're doing this live.
Yeah, thank you.
Is he in Australia? No, he's in Toronto.
Yeah, this is Sandy from Toronto, Ontario.
Hey, Sandy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome to the show. What a nice picture we've got here.
Oh, I'm glad you can see me. I can't see you, but I'm glad you can see me.
Believe me, it's better that way. Let's leave it that way. What can I do for you, Sandy?
Well, listen, I've become addicted, probably I shouldn't have, to Gmail, and I'm reliant on the search features and to keep all of my email to search.
Isn't it awesome?
It is, but now it's 85% full, and...
Wait a minute. Your Gmail is almost full?
Yeah, well, I'm referring a lot of accounts to it, and so it keeps adding up.
Oh, I see. You've got your other mail accounts going into Gmail. Yeah, because, I mean, right now, I've got, and it goes up all the time, I have 2,897 megabytes in my Gmail.
Yeah.
And it goes up, by the way. So it may be that unless you're growing very rapidly, they'll keep ahead of you because it goes up all the time. You see, I'm only using 1%. You're using 85%.
85%. And I've now become very reliant on the search features. It's much better than Outlook, and I can find messages and the attachments, etc. And so I was wondering if there's some way I could move it on to my local system so that then I could search it in the same manner. And are
you using, what operating system, Vista?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, and they describe this, how to do this in here in the Gmail Help Center. You want to use your pop mail client. That would be Outlook, Vista Live Mail, Windows Live Mail would do it too. Anything would do it. In fact, they even tell you how to configure it in all of these. To download the mail.
And can I download everything I've got?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll take a while. You've got almost 3 gigs.
Yeah.
So it'll take a while. And it'll continue to download from then on. And then what you do after that, and this describes the whole thing, you know, Vista's search feature will search Outlook or Windows Live Mail or Vista Mail. So, and it does a very good job. Or if you really like that Google style, you can get Google Desktop Search. It'll search through it too.
It will, okay.
Yeah, and it's just as fast. I think the Vista search is actually remarkably fast.
Is it okay? I'll have to try it.
It's probably faster than the Gmail, because what it does is you type the first few letters, and it automatically starts populating the search right away. So it's very quick. And it'll search right through that Outlook mail, no problem at all.
Okay.
There is, if you're really geeky.
Sure.
Yes, I am. I'm really geeky.
I'm moderately geeky.
There is a Python binding for Gmail that allows you to do all of this kind of downloading without an email client. It's on SourceForge. I'll give you the link in the show notes. It's something called libgmail.
Yeah, I found that.
Yeah. It's geeky.
Yeah.
It's command line, okay?
Yeah.
So what you'd have to do is install Python on your system, which isn't so hard. Well worth doing, I think. And then you could write a little program. And they're probably, now that this exists, I imagine people will write programs using this. But this would allow you, if you really didn't want to download it. For instance, let's say you wanted to archive. This is I think actually the most useful use of it. Archive your Gmail messages into the mbox format, which is the standard Unix mail format. It's the most standard of all, and it's really the one I prefer to keep my mail in mbox, because every program can read mbox. Mozilla Thunderbird supports it. It's just kind of it's the lingua franca of email. So once in fact, there's a demonstration utility to do this that will archive your whole account into big mbox files, and that's one way to archive it. And they're text, so anything that can search text files, including Vista, would be able to find anything in there. But it's not a message, so you can't reply to it. It's big giant text files. But then you could open them with any program or import them in. It just depends on what you're more comfortable. That's a pretty geeky way to do it, although it's more flexible. It sounds like for you the best thing to be just turn on your POP3 client, point it to Gmail, and go away for a week. Because it'll take a while.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I mean, this must be coming up now as people start to rely on these like Gmail.
I'm a big fan. This is called computing in the cloud.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of it. The cloud is the internet, right? So instead of, what we've done all our lives, well, actually not all our lives, interestingly, but what we've done since personal computers came out is run the programs on the personal computers. The data's on our hard drive on the computer, and it's all local. If you lose your internet connection, so what? It's all there. Now we're kind of going, in a way, it's going backwards to the days of mainframes, where all our data and programs are running somewhere else, and we had a terminal that accessed it. That's kind of what we're doing now with this computing in the cloud. All our mail is running on Gmail servers, on their hard drives, and if we don't have internet access, we don't have access to our mail.
Yeah.
And we're doing that with word processing, spreadsheets, Google Spreadsheet. We're doing with our to-do lists, with our calendaring. And there's some real advantages. Having Gmail means anywhere you are, you can always get your mail. But it's nice to have both, and that's why when I do something like this, I use actually IMAP, which allows me to have a local copy as well as a server copy, and keeps them in sync. This is kind of a poor man's version of that, is downloading it to your PopMail client. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Sandy, thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye. You use Gmail, right?
I do.
Yeah. I love it. So
Great.
Easy to use and stuff, but it's a little scary because all your mail is there, not here. That's always worrying me.
I use it as a backup.
Yeah, exactly. It's time for Sean's Shinies, and today his Shinies aren't so shiny, they're hats.
They're hats. I know you're very particular about your hats. You don't want your wig to come off when you're using them.
It's such a problem for those of us who wear hair pieces.
I've got a couple of good ones here for you, though.
This is a good wig hat.
Yeah,
huh?
so this is...
And I like the color. What is that, peach?
It's peachy. Yeah, it is pretty peachy. Anyways, this is a running cap from a company called iSoundwear. And
look, it's got headphones.
It's got headphones. And
I like that.
If you spin around this way and show the camera, it's actually got an iPod Nano holder right here. So that's
perfect. Of course, it won't work with the new Nanos. We kind of got new hats now for the new Nanos.
If you've got one of the old classic Nanos, it'll work with that.
This is a classic. I do recognize this one.
And it actually worked with the previous model before that design as well.
And I'm sure that they'll have hats that will work with all the new iPods.
Right. This one we got before the announcement.
Right.
And I mean, for all those of you that have that, this is great. For those of you who don't, cross your fingers that the new one's coming.
I'm sure. And you know what? It actually looks like... Now, see, it's just right. So it holds it. Now, it looks like you have a little extra room in there for your...
There's something. Maybe you hold your water bottle there or something.
Just what I need, a water bottle right here.
So
that's cute. I like that.
That's the running cap. There's also a version here that's a knit cap.
I like it.
so it tucks your iPod nicely away, the Nano only at this point, it looks like. The cable management system is built in. We didn't show that. We can show that right at the end. The bad thing is it's not really all that attractive, so it's not the most stylish app in the whole world.
This, to me, looks good.
So anyways,
this is a running toque.
Really quickly, you've got a little clip here that you can wrap your headphone cables around to tuck it in.
I like that. That's really good. And they're not expensive.
They're not that expensive. They're about $20 to $30, depending on the model you get.
Thank you, Sean. This is actually kind of cool. I like what people are doing. Coming up in just a bit, we're going to talk to our favorite photographer from down under. He's down in Los Angeles. Wait, no, that's down under for us. Yes. High-def slideshows with Jim Everett when the Lab with Leo continues. But first, it's time for our quick quiz question of the day. When was the 802.11b, or, you know, that's kind of Wi-Fi, isn't it? Network protocol enabled? Is it 97, 99, 2001, or 6 o'clock yesterday? Steve says that's it, yes. Go to the website, give us the answer, we'll talk about it when the Lab with Leo continues. Welcome back to the Lab. Leo Laporte here. I'm so excited about this. Jim Everett is back. He is a podcaster, does a great podcast about digital photography called Digital Snapshots. You can find that at his blog, itook.that.com.
That's right.
Or on iTunes. And today you're going to do something really fun.
Yeah.
You're going to keep people from boring their friends, neighbors, and relatives.
Yes, exactly.
A much-needed segment.
Yes, we're going to talk about slideshows. Oh, great. 600 vacation pictures. And in the next picture, it's a bit dark.
So bad.
Yeah, so we're going to look at a better way of doing that.
Okay.
So it's going to be a very narrow focus. It's going to be how to create a really interesting short slideshow with music that you can share.
See, when I was a kid, we had, you know, the slides and the projector, and it would go on forever, and there was no music, and as you say, the boring narration. But now we have HD TVs. We have a really great way to do this very conveniently, as long as you've done it right. So so how do you do it?
Okay.
You're not going to use iPhoto here to do this.
No.
Okay.
Because there's several ways you can share.
Yeah.
And one is you can actually drive it off your own laptop from a folder full of images, which iPhoto does, and you have a music track, and the music track plays and the slides go through, and they're really synchronized.
Does it match?
Not necessarily. It's not. It's not on the beat.
Well, you can even do it off your camera, really, without the music.
Yeah. And in fact, there is an interesting article in PC Photo, September, called Get It Together, where it goes through all the options you have for sharing.
iPod, Apple TV, camera,
Apple TV,
all this stuff.
And it has things about resolution and stuff.
This is not that, though.
No. It's just very quickly how you can make a little slideshow, vacation slides, that you can share without needing any other software with somebody for them to play on their TV.
And this is going to knock their socks off.
I hope so.
So now we're going to show Mac software. This is Mac specific, but there's similar software, I'm sure, on Windows. What is this program you're using here?
The one that I've got here, this is called Boinx Photomagico.
B-O-I-N-X.
B-O-I-N-X Photomagico.
Okay.
And it's at boinx.com. Now, what this allows you to do is drag your images into a timeline, and you can rotate them, you can zoom in and out, and stuff like that, and you can add music.
So, iPhoto do this kind of automatically, but this gives you more control over what it's going to look like. It's a work of art. It's part of the artistic process, really.
It is, because I'm looking at how to create something more artistic than just one slide after another.
Right.
So you pick your slide.
Show us, let's work through it.
So what I've got here.
I love this picture of a mastodon. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see the family just there. So with this, for example, you can zoom in. You've got a zoom control.
So you could do that the Ken Burns effect kind of by hand if you want to, where you move the picture around on the screen and stuff like that.
So I had to borrow my wife's system because I'm a desktop guy. Hers is a little slower. So
it's a G4. You got to get your wife a better computer.
I know. She won a prize, but wouldn't spend it on that. You can also rotate if you want.
Okay. And will it also animate these movements and rotations as well? Or are you just going to have a static display?
It's pretty much static, and you can change from one to the other. You can zoom in and out, and various transitions. I'll show you another application very quickly. So this is all I wanted to show you here. You can add a music track there, and basically what it does is it will if the slides are longer than the music track, it will add the beginning again. That's the only problem.
Repeat it.
Yeah, so maybe what you want to do is look at the length of the music and then look at the length of the slide track and get them matched.
Does this give you the kind of control, though? You could say this slide hits when the music goes boom, that's when I want that slide to be, and that kind of thing.
Not
can you position
as much as I'd like. This is kind of, it's a very, very nice program.
It's $49, come on, $129 for the Pro version.
So why don't we have a look at something I've created in that? I'll put a little clip
together. Let's see. I want to see what you can do.
So
Sean's going to play back a video. So you are getting all that movement in the picture, yeah. This is great. You almost wouldn't know they're static photos, would you?
What big picture?
I love that. I love that. Nobody's going to go to sleep during that.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can share it with somebody, because what PhotoMagico does is you can either export it to an MPEG, or you can export it as what's called a package, a standalone app, which has got a player built into it and all the media, but as far as the person getting it, it's just something they click on and play.
So you just give them the application on a disc and they just play it.
Exactly.
And it does the whole thing.
It does the whole thing. In fact, that's what we showed you just there.
That's really nice.
So, the other two that I wanted to quickly show is QuickTime.
QuickTime Pro, which is $30.
Exactly.
Everybody should buy QuickTime Pro.
One thing I like
useful
about
for
this
so many
is
reasons.
There's two ways you can do it. You can sync it to the slides, or you can sync it to the music. I like to sync it to the music. What I've got here is I've got the music track there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open image sequence. Okay. Now, when you go to open,
I've never seen this command.
Open image sequence. It goes to.
So you can open any folder.
No, you have to have them numbered. See, it's got Oregon 1 to Oregon 8.
So you put them in order.
You put them in order, renaming them in order, and you click on the first slide, and then you open that. Okay, and
you tell it how fast to play them.
Yep, and.
I don't think 15 is what you want.
No, we want about 5 seconds.
Now you could, the 15 would give you stop motion if you had,
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
5 frames per second, that's okay, so we do that, and we create it now. We select all, and then we come in and we paste, edit. We come down, add to selection and scale.
Look at that.
Oh no!
You went the other way. You added the video to the music.
Yeah, I did.
You want to add the music to the video?
We won't take the time here.
Okay, but that's what you would do.
That's what you do.
Okay.
Yeah. I should have gone into the timeline, but in the time that we have, and you know, it's all in the QuickTime help features.
So you can take music from one QuickTime file and add it to those videos that you've created, with which is the frame by frame, and it'll marry the two together.
And what it does, if you have the audio, for example, that's 22 seconds, and you say add to selection and scale.
What does that do? Does that shorten the pictures or shorten
the pictures? If you do it the other way,
this is what happened here: is you lengthen the music to fit the picture. Exactly. That's not what you want.
Yeah. It's not. You don't want it slow. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Okay.
So anyway.
Well, that's neat. So it'll actually say, okay, well, we've got a 30-second clip of pictures, 22-second clip of music. We'll speed up the slideshow so it'll fit the 22 seconds.
Exactly.
Very cool. So that's it. You have to get QuickTime Pro.
Yes.
It's about $30, but it's well worth it, I think. Yeah.
The other one, very quickly, that I wanted to show you is Photo to Movie. This is more for Ken Burns on steroids.
Okay.
Because remember the panorama that we did earlier? What I've done is I've put some movement there, or you could.
So that's the movement on the pic of where you look at different parts of the picture, like Ken Burns does.
Now
in his
you could add slides after another, and this does give you the ability to shorten and lengthen the thing. I'll do it by making it say 10 seconds here.
Now, are you changing the slide, the picture, or the
duration of the movement?
Picture? So this really is an interesting photo to movie.
Photo to movie. Let's go back and.
Is this for just one photo at a time?
Yes. Okay. But you can do a series of them and create
and then stitch them together.
slide movements, and this gives you more control over timing your slides to come in on the beat of the music.
Right. Let's see what it looks like.
Okay.
So there's the movement,
and I'll put the same music with it.
And that's ducking the music out. There's the Sydney Opera House. So we're at the Sydney Harbor, I recognize.
We are.
Yeah. I love it.
Like that. So this gives you more control over.
That's amazing because that's one picture, but you're moving through it as if. So it really makes it look like a movie.
Yeah, and you can make up a slideshow that'll keep people on the edge of their seats.
Very cool. Photo to Movies, the name of that. We have links to all the software and to Jim's own show, the Digital Snapshots podcast.
And we've got one more thing.
What's that?
One more thing. Can we roll?
Sean's going to show something real quick here. All right. This is something you did here. When did you do this? This is great. Oh, these are Sean's pictures, huh?
Exactly.
This is great. I like it. Thank you, Jim Efford.
Okay.
ITookThat.com. You can visit his gallery, JamesGordonGallery.com on the web. And, of course, we'll have links to everything on our show notes.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for coming up and doing this.
Right, yeah, cheers.
Safe trip back.
Thank you.
Go to thelabwithleo.com for more information about Jim. More of your calls coming up right after this. But I wish our show were as dramatic as your slideshows. We need some dramatic music. John.
Hey there, welcome back to The Lab with Leo. I'm Kate Abraham, and now it's time for our Firefox add-on of the day. Now, are you a driver or are you a navigator? Because if you're a navigator, I have the most fantastic add-on for you. It's basically a Google mini-map. And what you do for this is literally have it straight into your sidebar here. Set yourself a home site. So, for instance, this is our studio here in Vancouver. The cool thing is it has the same integration as Google Maps. So you obviously have the standard, you can have the satellite view or the hybrid view. You can zoom, you can drag and drop as you can with the other integration. The best thing about this is the directions feature. So for instance, if I want to know where the airport was in Vancouver, all I have to do is go here and literally drag and drop the address. If I could grab it straight into here.
Oh, that's neat.
And then as you can see, it gives me where the airport is. Now the great thing is then I go here, I decide to where am I coming from, where am I going to, and then it gives me the directions to it.
That's really neat.
Isn't that fantastic?
And you know, I live in Google Maps, so having that built into Firefox is really
and
great.
The great thing is then you can email the actual the directions to yourself.
Right. I constantly am typing maps.google.com. This way I wouldn't even have to do that.
The best thing is the drag and drop feature. So you haven't even got to worry about writing down the address and then finding it. You just drag and drop it straight in and it's That's
should warn people, don't install every extension Kate mentions because your Firefox is just
Hence, like yesterday for me. I was like, come on.
Yeah, you want to uninstall the ones you don't use.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one's great. So I mean, it's kind of easy to have it there, you know. So
and it's apps.firefox
addons.mozilla.org.
Go figure.
No forward slashes, just
nothing. We learned the slash for nothing, for no reason.
I have to bring it back.
We gotta go dot, okay? So let's do it again.
So it's addons.mozilla.org.
See, I think that's just as good as slash. Now, if we could only have a slash and a dot, that would be great. Do you have another caller for us?
I do. David from Adelaide in South Australia.
Fantastic. Hello, David. How are you today?
Not bad, Leo. How are you?
Excellent. Welcome to the program. What can I do for you?
Well, I got a Nokia N95, and I've been...
Me too. I love my N95. Isn't it a great phone?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know why you upgraded to the iPhone. I think it's awesome.
Well, I kind of still use both, really. It's a wonderful phone. I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping you can help me then. Basically, what's happening is I'm downloading all of your podcasts, of course, and they're all in MP3 format, no dramas. What I have problems with is when it comes to video podcasts.
Yeah. Now you know why I do audio only, because video is, there's a good standard for audio, everything supports it, but video, there's a million standards. So there's two issues you're coming up against. One is the codec, how it's compressed. And the Nokia or any phone will only support some codecs, not all codecs. So you want to find something compressed in a format that the phone will use. The second problem is kind of more intractable, which is the phone isn't as powerful as a desktop computer. It can't play everything that you could play on your desktop, right? So you might have to recompress stuff to fit on the desktop better, if that makes sense. To fit on the phone better. Does that make sense?
I'm hoping to sort of use the Wi-Fi part of it to obviously download them.
Right.
What I get is when I download them, I usually, like a video cast, I usually try and use the iPod format. And it seems that half of them work and half of them don't.
Right.
Like I can get Geek Brief, no problem.
Yeah, some are recorded H.264, some are in MPEG 4. So that's the problem with video. There's all these different incompatible standards. Let me show you what you can do. The best thing to do. It's from the Nokia blog, thenokiablog.com, how to convert movies and TV using QuickTime to a format that Nokia will play back best. This gives you the highest quality for the Nokia, and basically you're going to do H.264. You're going to reconvert. So you open up in QuickTime. You need QuickTime Pro for this, by the way. Convert to H.264, 700 kilobits per second, 320 by 240 QVGA. 30 frames, preserve the aspect ratio. These are the settings. I'll put a link in the show notes to this. And this is exactly what you want to do so that you get the best possible video quality that the N95 still is capable of playing back. And that's going to be true of any phone, because they aren't, as powerful as a computer. You've got to allow for the fact that they can't play back, full motion video unless it's just at the quality that it can support, and it has to have the codecs too. That's where QuickTime Pro is a real advantage. That's on PC or Mac. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Mr. Excel is here. He's going to talk about data visualization tools, something new in Office 2007. I'm loving it more and more the more I use it. You stay right here. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, one more chance to take our quick quiz question of the day. When was 802.11b ratified? 97, 99, 01, or around 6 o'clock yesterday? Go to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it when the lab continues. Welcome back to the lab. Before the break, we asked you when 802.11, the Wi-Fi protocol, was ratified. I don't know, 97? 99. See, it's old. It's been around a long time. Long time. They still haven't ratified 802.11 and the latest one, but that should happen sometime soon. Mr. Excel is here. He is the author of so many books and, of course, the host at MrExcel.com. This is the newest Excel 2007 Miracles Made Easy.
Yes.
From Holy Macro Books. You buy it online at MrExcel.com. Look how you guys are doing such beautiful production. These are gorgeous books.
Yeah, they had so many new, really cool, great-looking features. I said we have
color
to
features,
spend
right?
extra money to put color in.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, sort by color. You can't do that in black and white, can you?
And it's true. We said, hey, it's fine with us. Just don't raise the price.
So we're going to talk about the data visualization.
Data visualization. This is if you have a manager who just looks at a series of numbers and his eyes just glaze over.
Right? I want to see pictures.
Yeah. Right. So they added some great new features into Excel 2007 to allow you to really spot the trends very easily. And so I have a series of numbers here. It's data from January through December, 4 different sales reps.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily know who's doing the best or anything like that. If I go to conditional formatting and choose color scales, maybe I can choose one where the green cells are the largest, red cells are the smallest.
I like the instant preview too. That's really a nice feature.
You can see, who's hot and who's not within this group. And they have a few different built-in colors. Or you can create your own colors if you wanted to, but 8 built in. So that's the first new visualization
tool. And that
tool.
sure helps right there.
It does. It does. The other cool thing they have, I'm going to go to another data set here. And this is, again, just a whole series of data. One thing they gave us is something called icon sets. And these kind of came around in the expensive reporting tools in the late 90s, where we can say that we want to assign different icons.
I like that.
The green, yellow, or red.
Look at that.
There's the check mark,
I know the manager's not dumb. This makes it easier to see what's going on.
Absolutely.
Frankly. It really brings the data forward.
It does. The other one that I really kind of love is, I call it an in-cell data bar. So every single cell gets its own little bar chart. So they call it data bars. We can choose a color, and basically what happens is the largest numbers get the largest swath of blue, smallest numbers get the smallest
It's a graph in a cell.
Exactly.
Wow.
So very easily you can spot what's going on.
I like that.
Straight down the line. Now I have one great tip for us here today. I'm going to add icon sets, just like we always did. And the problem with the icon sets is they get I think they get busy. I mean, every single cell has an icon set.
Yeah, that's too much.
So it'd be cool if we could just make the green check marks appear.
Yes.
All right, so here's the cool trick. We're going to go into new rule, and we're going to set up a formula to determine which cells. Actually, no, let's do it this way.
Format cells that contain.
So any cell value less than, let's say, 35,000. That's about where the green check marks start. I want to format it with nothing.
So turn it off if it's too low.
And they added this new setting now where we can go into manage rules and say, all right, if that first rule is true, then stop. Don't apply any of the other rules.
Oh, that's a nice way to do it.
So anything under 35,000
gets
no format. And the things above 35,000.
That's really what you want.
Yeah.
I don't need to see the X's and the L.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what
This is much better. Now, of course, they made it hard, but that's good because then I get to sell the book.
But
easy. If you have the book, it's easy.
That's right. Exactly.
That's really
Exactly.
cool. Mr. Excel answers over 30,000 questions on his site. Absolutely free. MrExcel.com. The book is new. Excel 2000. Miracles Made Easy, and this is the 25 best tips, 25 amazing things you can do with a new Excel.
Brand new things.
You like it, 2007, right?
Well,
it's
yeah.
worth
Once you
upgrading.
get past the ribbon and trying to figure out where everything is,
Right.
Yeah,
it's
it's a great
cool.
version.
Yeah, it's really great. Sometime I'm going to ask you about the new numbers that Apple put out and see what you think of that.
That's
yeah, compare that to Excel. I mean, I know Excel's more powerful, but
it's certainly shaking things up.
yeah,
isn't
it sure is. Very interesting.
Yeah.
MrExcel.com. Bill Jelen, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for coming by. A final word coming up as the lab continues right after this. Stay right here. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about visualization. Welcome back to the lab. One more chance to get a Ryan Ewell jewel on the show. We thought we weren't going to get you in, but we've got time. What do you got for us?
I got Puzzle Creator Promo. It's a bunch of different words. They're basically you create.
I like jigsaw puzzles.
You create your own jigsaw puzzle. So it's a step-by-step. You create the title, you create the picture, you tell it where the picture is. The cool thing is up top here, you can actually give it a banner ad and a link to any site you wish, and when you click on it,
we should do a Lab with Leo one.
Yeah, you can. So it's a promotion tool for people that want to say, here's a picture of my product or me, here's a link to my website, here's the banner, you can choose the background colors.
I see you're getting Sean's head put together there.
Yeah, we're doing Sean's
head. Is this as fun doing this kind of a jigsaw puzzle as a real one?
Well, I'll tell you this, I have as much fun doing this jigsaw puzzle as a real one. So,
do you?
Yeah, which is as much as you want to infer from that. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't really like jigsaw puzzles.
But what I'd like to know is it as much fun as doing a real one?
It's the same amount, I think.
Just kidding, yeah. What is it called again?
It's got a really long name here. I can tell you.
Jigsaw Puzzle
It's called
Promo
Jigsaw Puzzle Promo Creator.
It's free.
It's absolutely free.
It's a Ewell's jewel. And where would we get that?
I think it's labwithleo.com.
I think you're right. Okay. Thank you, Ryan.
No problem.
But I have one question for you. If I were to do this,
yes,
would it be as much fun as doing a real jigsaw puzzle?
It would be more fun because you're doing it with technology.
That's what I wanted you to say. It's more fun when you do it with technology, right, Kate?
Indeed.
Yeah. Indeed, right, Steve?
Absolutely.
It's more fun, right, everybody? Yeah. How long till credits? Did it? Could you have done a longer segment?
Well, I can show you. You go in here.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
It's all right. Do you think it's as much fun as doing?
I think it's more fun.
More fun. More fun. She thinks it's more fun.
It probably has an undo feature too.
What?
You know, it probably has an undo feature.
No, I don't like that.
Oh.
Did you ever try to jam them in upside down just because you got so frustrated? And you're like, it's going to fit. Anyway, we're glad you could be here. We're glad you could come all the way up. We got Jim Everett all the way from Australia. This has been a great show. Sean Carruthers, Mr. Excel, Bill Jelen.
And I got you holding the microphone for me. That's a first.
And let me tell you, it is hard work. I'm just going to be so sore tomorrow, I can tell you right now. If you want to be on the show, you don't have to fly from Los Angeles or Australia or Toronto. All you have to do is go to the website, labwithleo.com. You fill out the form and get on the show. Kate will call you. I have to apologize because I know people say, oh, I would really like it if you would answer our questions personally. We can't do that because we get thousands every day. And Kate doesn't have time to do that. No. So we do pick as many as we can, get them on the show.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, but we can't answer your question unless you go to the website, labwithleo.com. Any final thoughts, Steve? No.
Are we done already?
Yeah. We'll see you next time on the lab. Bye-bye.